came in and were expecting someone much larger, my apologies. You hear that two-time Olympian, you get some 6-foot monstrosity, and my short, bow-legged, bald self steps on the stage, and there's a brief, but hopefully it's not too bad of an So, just real quickly before I get started, after this, I'm going to hang around for a little bit, and some of you have asked me to sign your shoes and shirts, and that's fine. Pictures, that's great. I've got some books left as well. If you'd like to get a book, we still have that. All 3 of them, especially the devotional is the one that I'm really pushing this year, just because I want to get something. If you're a believer, again, I'm not here to push religion down anybody's throat, but if you're a believer and you're looking for something to help expand your knowledge in Scripture and grow closer to Christ, then I'm going to say you need that. And it's written from an athlete and coach, 2 athlete and coaches. And of course, we still have some of the first edition going from a broken home to World Olympic teams. And of course, the parent edition, just to help parents navigate youth sports. I've been there, we've all been there, where we kind of lose our minds with our kids' athletics. So for the last 2 years that I've spoken just about any place that I go over the summer, I kind of take the FCA wrestling theme, although FCA wrestling, and I'm not going to get into that, they're not really a thing anymore. FCA is FCA wrestling is not. But 2 years ago it was about the love of a father. And it's not that a love of a mother isn't important. Listen, I grew up with a single mom. I understand the value of the love of a mother. She was a rock star. She worked 68 hours a week. She and my dad were just trying to put the broken pieces of their life together. And I think she did a great job with my brother and I. So I've seen the love of a mother, okay? But the only thing I can give is the love of a father. And so I talked about that 2 years and how important that was. And then I stood over there at 4 different camps and said, hey, if you've never felt what it is to be loved by someone who isn't looking for something back, I'll stand right over there and I'll give you a hug and I'll tell you that I love you and that you're an image bearer of the Most High and that you are awesome. And I did that. And kids were lining up in these camps, 40, 50, 60, 70 people deep. Some of them goofing around, some sobbing openly in my arms because they just wanted to feel what it was like to be loved by somebody and not have somebody want something. And then last year I talked about hope. And I talked about 2 different types of hope, and both hopes are good. One's dangerous. The first hope is something that I want, but it's uncertain. It's good hope. I wanted to be a high school state champ. I became a high school state champ. I wanted to be a 2-time high school state champ. Somebody stopped me from doing that. It was something that I wanted, but it was uncertain. And then the second hope is something that's certain, but hasn't happened yet. And I explained my relationship that I have with the Father through Jesus Christ. You've seen in every camp clinic, I always wear these Jesus Christ is life, the rest is just wrestling shirts. And I'll talk about what that means later on. It's not what it probably doesn't mean what you think it means. But I'm going to tell you what it means because it's important. So that's what I talked about the last 2 summers. This summer I've been talking about chasing glory. And if you're an athlete, what do we chase? Glory. Listen, I get it. Listen, I get it on a level. Some of you are maybe dipping your toes in the water. But listen, I've always wanted to be the best. Always. And I didn't want to be just the best. I wanted people to acknowledge that I was the best. When I won tournaments, I prayed. I prayed so hard that the coaches would all vote for me as being the most outstanding wrestler. I wanted that. I wanted it for me. And I was using God as a genie to get what I wanted. He's not. Nor is he going to act that way. But that's what I prayed for. I didn't understand how immature my faith was back then. But I chased glory. I get chasing glory. And I'm not going to suggest that there's anything wrong at all about wanting to be great in this sport. There isn't. There's nothing wrong with it. You can strain for it. I'm going to read a Bible verse about it. It's okay to strain. But if you're doing it for self-glory, I'm going to tell you it fades. Coach Levi and I, we walked across the street. Got a sub. You think that lady behind the counter said, oh my goodness, you're Jim Gruenwald. You were in 2 Olympic teams. Do you think she said that? No, she looked across the counter, just another short, bald dude. That's it. That's all she saw. And I guarantee you, 50, 100 years from now, no one's going to remember Jordan Burroughs. They're just not. He's just going to be another stat in a book. Yeah, maybe he'll pop up now and again. He might come up in some conversation because there's some wrestling stats freak out there that remembers him. But even the greatest of the great. I mean, I could go right now and look at you. Tell me, who was the 2000 Olympic champion? He was Miracle on the Mat. Miracle on the freaking mat. It was the thing that they brought. I'm not just calling you out because you just happen to be right there. So this isn't anything against you, son. Okay? You just happen to be in my line of fire. So lucky you. Miracle on the Mat. They hadn't used that word in the Olympics since the 1980 hockey team beat Russia. A bunch of amateurs took out the professionals in the Soviet Union. Well, we gave it to them hard. Miracle on the ice. And then Rulon Gardner became Miracle on the mat. We've already forgotten it. Now I go back to, how about 1972? Anybody know a 1972 Olympic champ? Who? Who's your coach? Help me. Okay, the one that I know is Ben Peterson, because he was my college coach. He's an Olympic champ. Go back to 1960. Who's 1960? Doug Blueball. Had narcolepsy. Used to fall asleep, sometimes in wrestling matches. Stuck the Turk. Gave him no chance. See how quickly it fades? You chase glory all you want, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to fade. It's going to fade. I don't care what kind of glory you're chasing. You're a really good looking dude. You're a really good looking chick. You want to know what? You're going to get old. You're going to get wrinkled. You can fight it all you want, but if you chase that beautiful glory, you're going to lose it. You chase the glory of $1, listen, you can't take it. You hit the grave, it's going to stay behind. Someone else is going to snatch that right up. Listen, I don't care what kind of glory you're chasing, fame, fortune, it's going to fade. Again, I'm not saying it's not wrong to fight for things, but I'm going to tell you it's going to take control. You'll take control if you don't chase the right glory. I'll tell you, you want to hear a funny little story of how it takes control? When I was competing at the Olympic level, even when I went to the bathroom, I would only go in the center stall because the number one spot on the podium was in the center. So I'd walk to that center, I would wait. I don't care what was going on behind. I would wait so I could use that center stall. So that's goofy, right? It is goofy. To this day, sometimes I catch myself walking right in the center, come on, Gruenwald, and I'll just use whatever's open. It'll control you. And sometimes in fun ways. I mean, I remember one practice, Frazier came over at the Olympic Training Center, and you need to understand that Frazier's always changing deals. Always changing the deal. And so he came from Domino's. He was a corporate guy at Domino's. And when he came from Domino's, he had like a stack of free pizzas. And every so once in a while, we'd have a practice where he'd give us an opportunity to win a free pizza. And listen, when you're a poor Olympic wrestler, because we ain't killing it. All right, I was the 4th best wrestler in the world. I think the most I ever made in a year was like 20 grand. I'm the 4th best golfer in the world. I'm a multi-freaking gazillionaire. Okay, so when you get an opportunity to win a free pizza, guess what you do? Yeah, you try to win that free pizza. So Frazier comes in and said, okay, if you can text someone in a minute, I'll give you free pizza. So I grabbed the weakest dude in the room. And I'm like, come here, child. And I crushed that dude's soul, and I felt really good about it because I just got me a free pizza. I'm like, Frazier, pizza, now. He's like, whoa, who'd you go with? I'm like, him. Kid's like half dead on the ground. I didn't care. Give him that free pizza. He's like, are you serious, Gruenwald? He's like, okay, you double or nothing. I'm like, all right, that means 2 pies for me, and you're going to lose. I'm like, so he's like, now you've got to go a minute, and you can't get text. I'm like, okay, I grabbed that same dude. I'm like, dude, you want revenge? Yeah. Okay, get on top. I took a nap while he did oh, are you done yet? You doing anything? Oh yeah, massage my back. That's perfect. Don't make it weird, I'm married. Okay, back off, dude. Okay? Did he turn me? No! Frazier! 2 pizzas. Who'd you go with? That guy that's on the ground right now. Curled up in the fetal position, sucking his thumb. Wallowing in the saliva, his own nervous breakdown. Him, right there. Yeah, that guy. Are you alive? Shut your mouth. He's like, are you serious? Like, hey, this is free pizzas, baby. He's like, you gotta give me another. But Frazier always freaking changed the deal. He's like, you gotta give me, let me pick your partner. You gotta give me one more chance. Double or nothing, you gotta give me a chance. I'm like, oh, 4 pies. 4 pies! 4 pies! That's like 1 pizza a week. That's putting food in the belly. I'm liking it. I'm like, okay, who you want to pick? He picks Glenn Naradka. Glenn Naradka was a weight class above me. Glenn Naradka was typically top 3 to 6 in the nation of weight class above me. He was an Army wrestler. He was a stud, super athletic. So I go down. I was a little bit nervous, but I knew in my mind, listen, the only will greater my will is God will. I'm going to stop him cold. I stopped him. 4 pizzas, Frazier! Gimme! Jimmy liked it. Okay? He's like, Jim. Oh, come on. Frazier, always changing the deal. Always changing. Like, you got to give me one more time. He says, Jim, I promise you, this is the last time. double or nothing, 8 pizzas, boom, threw them right down in front of me. That's 8 pizzas. That's 8 weeks of pizza. That's 8 weeks of every meat topping that I want on a thin crust pizza. Okay, double or nothing, 8 pizzas. So he's like, you got to turn Bracken. Now Bracken was 1 or 2 a weight class above me. He was bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic. In fact, he was probably one of the fastest white dudes I've ever seen in my life. Listen, fastest white dude ever, okay? So I'm like, okay, so I get down, he gets down in parterre, I just have to turn him once. I got a minute to do it. I go to put my hands on, because this is back in the day when you go on your hands and feet, parterre position. I go to put my hands on, I go to look at Frazier, I want to get the timing just right so I can get my lock, so I'm looking at Frazier, I get close. Frazier doesn't wait for me to touch, he just blows the whistle. I'm like, what? And then while I'm saying what, which is a stupid thing to do, when 8 pizzas are on the line, Bracken, fastest white human being ever, gets up, throws his hand back, which jams both of my thumbs. I'm like, ah! Are you kidding me? And then he runs away. I still got a minute though, but he's the fastest white dude ever! So I start chasing him, and he is mocking me because he's running just fast enough to stay in front of me. And so finally, I'm getting him good. So I try to kick. I miss. I almost blow up my knee and my ankle. I finally stop, and I look at everybody. I'm like, call them! And I'm going to G-rate it. The passivity! And after I drop that very, very bad word, I look up, and unbeknownst to me, a middle school had come in to watch our practice. Yeah, oh, chasing glory sometimes has a price, right? I didn't swear all that often. That was like 1 or 3 times that I really lost my cool in the room because 8 freaking pizzas were on the line and I just lost them all because I was too slow. So I did the walk of shame over those middle schoolers and like, listen, I'm sorry. I shouldn't use that language. It was wildly inappropriate, and I hope you can forgive me. Oh, no, that was great. Can you do it again? Teacher there can't slap the kids. Not that I would have. So, this kind of gives you a fun illustration about sometimes how we'll lose our mind when we chase glory. And yet I just told you faith. I give examples of Roland Gardner, Miracle on the Mat. We don't remember him anymore. He's a freaking gold medalist that we don't remember. You're going to list glory fades. But there's a verse in 1 Corinthians 9, 24 through 27. 1 Corinthians 9, 24 through 27. I'm going to read to you. So Paul is speaking to the Corinthian church. He says, don't you know that in a race all the runners compete, but only one wins the prize? So then, run to win. I'm going to say the same thing. Wrestle to win. Wrestle to win. Paul goes on to say, now every athlete in training submits himself to strict discipline. You did that today. I watched you. And let me ask you this question. Are you alive right now? Are all of you alive? Yes. Then you got more to give. Are you alive? Yes. You got more to give. Yes. That's another opportunity. Another opportunity. Now every athlete in training submits himself or herself to strict discipline. And he does it just to win a laurel wreath that will soon wither away. Right there, exclamation point. Victory, glory, fame, withers away. They literally put a wreath around your head to signify. But then after a while, that wreath is just going to wither. It's going to crumble. Turns to dust. That was your glory. So you always had to win again. You always had to chase more glory. And I said it earlier. Winning and losing for a coach or an athlete is like crack cocaine. You get a little taste of that W, and you want more, but it's got to be a bigger. Just like with drugs, right? You take a little taste of drugs. You get that same high taking the same amount? No, you do not. What do you got to take? More. It's got to be bigger. Then one day you take too much. Done. You got to be careful. You got to be careful what you're willing to sell to get that W. Wither away. But we do it to win a crown that will last forever. He's talking about going out and sharing his faith. Listen, I don't like walking out of my front door. I don't. I love my wife. I have 7 children. I clearly love my wife. right? Hey, nothing wrong with that. Marriage is awesome. I said there, thank you. Thanks. Clap away. Marriage is awesome. Okay? So, I don't like walking around my front door, but when I have an opportunity, and this is one of them, where I get to share wrestling and Jesus, that gets me out of my front door. So when Coach Levi says, hey Jim, can you come out and do one of our camps? Be the closer. Bring the energy! Bring the heat, Gruenwald! I'm like, giddy up. Let's do this. Right? That's the only way. Sharing my faith is what gets me and keeps me going. And then he finishes, accordingly, I don't run aimlessly, but straight for the finish line. I don't shadow box, but try to make every punch count. I treat my body hard! And I make it my slave so that after proclaiming the good news to others, I myself will not be disqualified. Listen, there is glory to be had in sport. It's going to fade. But there is an eternal glory out there that will never fade. And again, I'm not here to push my faith or religion onto you. But I am here to tell you a couple of things now. Listen to those that love you. Because if you want to make right decisions, and you don't want to be a glory hound, and you don't want to watch all that wither and fade away, and when your identity is wrapped up and the glory fades, you fade. But there is an eternal glory that you can have. And that's again, I'm going to go back to this right here. I just said, listen to the people that you love. Let's have a real quick aside. Your parents love you. Your teachers love you. Your coaches love you. If you go to church, your minister loves you. And there's something you need to understand. They love you more than you love yourself. And they love you more than they love themselves. You need to listen to that. You need to listen to them. Because they're trying to keep you. You think they're being restrictive? They're not. They're pointing you in the right direction so you don't make the same mistakes that they made. They don't want you to hurt. They don't want you to suffer unnecessarily. Listen, you chose to suffer out there. But some of the choices that you're going to make in life, you're going to choose. You're going to come across unchosen suffering. Do you think a drug addict chooses to suffer after coming off of a high? No. Do you think a person chooses AIDS? No, that's unchosen suffering. So listen to the people that love you, because they don't want you to suffer needlessly. Yes, we should all have a little suffering in our life. You suffered. I've watched you suffer. I saw one of you, I don't know where you are right now. He was like trying to do the bear crawl, and his hand he cramped. And I could see the desperation in his eyes. He's like this wounded soldier just trying to get to the finish line. And I said, hey, you're okay. You're okay. Get on your back. Stretch it out. We worked him through it. Finished the practice. It was great. It was chosen suffering, the right kind of suffering. He got better that day. You guys, today you got better because you chose suffering. But you don't need to suffer needlessly. So here's the deal. Jesus Christ's life. What does it mean? What does it mean? So, a lot of times, you see Jesus Christ is like the rest, it's just wrestling. You think it's like the wrestling that we do on the mat, but it's not. It's wrestling with that evil that's inside of us. And everybody has that thing that gets them. Sometimes it's drugs, sex, alcohol, lying, cheating, stealing, gluttony. It's everything. There's a lot of things. Listen, I could be talking to you right now on this phone and watching pornography at the same time. It's gross to think about it, but it's that easy. It's that accessible. I'm not. Okay? I'm not. I'm just telling you that it's possible. And listen, my entire life, I have struggled with rage and lust. My whole life. My dad struggles with alcohol. That's a nothing burger for me. Alcohol? Why would you let something like that control your life? As an athlete, it does nothing for you. Nothing. You're replacing the water in your body with alcohol. You're dehydrating yourself, which actually, by dehydrating yourself, you lose, for every 3% you dehydrate yourself, you lose 8% of your strength, 8% of your speed and 10% of your strength. It's just stupid to drink. It's the emptiest form of a calorie. That never had control over me. But rage does. Because I grew up in an angry household. So that's how I responded. That's how I thought you responded to difficulty. It was with rage. And then I was exposed to pornography. Now back then it was just magazines. Now it's on everything. I struggle with that. Listen, the only way I'm going to win that battle against my sin nature, win that wrestling match, is clinging to the cross. Clinging to what Christ did for me and leading into community, Christian community. So I had to surround myself with people that would help me make wise decisions. I listened to the people who loved me. And they loved me again more than I loved myself. And they loved me more than they loved themselves. And they pointed me in the right direction. And one of them pointed me towards Jesus. And I needed those God-sized guide rails to make sure that I made right choices in life. Because the simple fact of the matter is, you need something in your life. You need something in your life bigger than you to help you make right choices. And if it's not there, you're going to make wrong choices. 5, 10, 20 years down the road, you're going to wake up, you're going to look at yourself in your mirror and wonder, who is this human? I don't recognize. This is not the person I was 20 years ago. Where'd all my hopes and dreams go? They were crushed by bad choices. I was not the best athlete at the Olympic Training Center. God just helped me make better choices. And I was willing to suffer a little bit more. So Jesus Christ is life, the rest is just wrestling when you're competing against that evil inside of you. And I don't know what gets you, but I know something gets you. I know something gets you, and I know statistically what it is. Statistically, most of us in this room have been exposed to pornography. Some of you are getting kind of nervous right now because you think I'm talking to you. I am. Some of you have already started drinking hard. Some of you started taking drugs. It starts with a little bit of pot, a little bit of ecstasy, and then it gets harder and harder. You see the before and after pictures of people who sink down deep into meth and some of the meth substitutes and how it kills. Listen, 2 Corinthians 7:10. God's way of handling pain leads to life. The world's way of handling pain leads to death. The world's going to tell you to drown your pain with drugs, with alcohol, numb it, distract yourself, just have lots of sex. That's how the world, and it always ends in death. It always ends in death. God's way of handling pain only ended in death for one person, Jesus Christ on the cross. He paid for it. It was awesome. It was the greatest injustice done in all of it. It's the only innocent person who's ever been killed. Listen, there are good people out there, they're just not innocent. So Jesus Christ's life, the rest is just wrestling. Sometimes Jesus Christ's life, the rest is just wrestling with the world. That's when your buddies come up to you, like, dude, dudes. Hey, party, booze. Look, you can't. Hey, there's going to be drunk chicks. Hey, there's going to be drunk guys. Hey. Right? You know what they're saying? Listen, the world's only ever going to build you up to help you make bad choices so they can tear you down. Yeah, people love an underdog story. They love it even more when someone crashes hard. Listen, if you don't believe me, look at everything that was said about Kyle Snyder. Captain freaking America, outspoken Christian, telling kids about Jesus at a camp. Said, hey, I got to leave early. I want to go with my wife and my kids. Long drive, got a long drive. A couple hours later, pants down around his ankles, cuffs, embarrassing, prostitution sting. Captain America, one of our most decorated athletes. Listen, sin is crouching at the door. And it wants you. The world is crouching at the door. All the right decisions you made at this camp to build yourself up can be dashed with one bad decision when you walk out. How are you going to win that wrestling match against the world? How are you going to fight that temptation? And it's always there. It's always crouching at the door. There's always that thing in the world or inside that's trying to get you, external, internal. It's there. How do you beat it? You cling to the cross. And you lead in a community, Christian community. It's going to help you. Going to help you. I know. It worked for me. Listen, I'm not here to push this down your throat. I'm just telling you it worked for me. It worked for me. Jesus Christ's life, the rest is just wrestling. Because sometimes life sucks. Sometimes life just sucks. My college roommate, in my wedding, on the wrestling team with me, had some back pain. Goes to the hospital, gets the back pain checked out, says it's getting worse. Didn't seem to be going away. Couldn't figure out what it was. Stage 4 colon cancer. It had metastasized to his lungs, livers, and kidneys. My friend got diagnosed in May and he was dead in October. That sucks. He was one of my best friends. He just welcomed a grandchild into the world. Why? You want to just look at God and say, why? But he was 50, so he's 50. To you, 50 is like freaking ancient. He lived a full life. Is that big? Okay, how about this? How about something that hits a little bit closer to home? A year and a month to the day One of my daughter's best friends took a bad turn, made a bad choice, got T-boned. 16-year-old girl. 16-year-old girl. Why? That hits. That hits. How do the parents deal with something like that? I'll tell you how her parents dealt with it. And it's still every day. They cling to the cross. And they lean into Christian community. Because if you don't, you're going to get sucked into drugs, alcohol, or distraction to try to make that pain go away. That's how the world handles it. That's how some of you might be handling it. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm just telling you it's not good. My place is not to tell you whether you're going to heaven or hell. That's God's job. I'm just telling you how to get there. It's Jesus Christ's life. It is. And again, some of you are thinking, you don't know me. You don't know me. And I have this all the time. You don't know me. I've made poor choices in life. I'm not good enough for God. Listen, you're never good enough for God. You don't get good to get God. You get God to get good. It's backwards. Listen, Romans 5:8 says that God demonstrated his love to us in that while we were yet sinners, that Christ died for us. While we were sinners. It's truth. You don't get good to get God. You get God to get good. You get God to get good. It's Jesus Christ's life. So if you've never heard this, if you know this already, awesome. Keep growing. Read your Bible. Pray. Fellowship. If you're searching, I'm telling you right now, this is the answer. I can't force it on you. Any more than I can force you to love wrestling. I can't force you to believe the way I believe. That's not how it works. God is not some cosmic bully. God is not some cosmic bully who makes you believe the way he wants you to believe. He says, listen, if you don't want to believe in me, that's fine. I'm going to put you right here. There's a place for it. And if you do believe in me, I'm going to put you right here. There's a place for it. I don't know about everything in between. I don't. I know this, though. 1 John 5:13 says that I write you these things so that you may know. Not so that you may think or believe, so that you may know, that you have eternal life to those who believe in Jesus Christ. It's just that simple. He came 2,000 years ago. He was the Son of God. He was God. He is God. He died on the cross. He rose again 3 days. And he paid the price for our sins. He paid the price for my sin. He paid the price for your sin. It is a free gift. Comes with a cost, though. You got to turn your back on sin. But remember, the world's way of handling pain ends in death. So please, 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 listen to the people who lead you. Listen to the people who lead you. You say, you have a coach? Aren't there bad parents out there? Aren't there bad coaches out there? Yeah. Aren't there bad teachers out there? Yeah. Aren't there bad ministers out there? Absolutely. Listen, you can pick some dirtbag, some creepy freak in any segment of society. There's going to be somebody. But by and large, parents, teachers, coaches, ministries, they are good people who are flawed. And they are trying to help you. So please, please, please listen to them. Because as I said before, you need something in your life that's bigger than you to help you make those right decisions. For me, I needed this. I needed Jesus Christ. That's what helped me make right decisions. And I'll finish with this. There are 3 things that have kept me out of prison. Jesus Christ is one of them. He constrains me. He keeps me from wanting to do the things that I want to do. And I've wanted to do some really bad things. I'm not going to share any of the gross details, but I've wanted to do some really bad things to people. Some of them deserved it. They did. But it's not my place to do it. Jesus, wrestling. Wrestling has kept me out of prison. It gave me an outlet for my violence. It did. It's such a beautiful thing that I can go and wrestle and fight another human being and not go to prison for it. I do that to people on the street. Jimbo, you're going to jail. Okay? And number 3 is my wife. My wife civilized me. I'm still me. You're just getting a civilized version of me, which is a good thing. Because the uncivilized version of me was not a good person. Not a nice person, even when I was a Christian. I had some lessons to learn, and my wife showed me what it was. She didn't make me soft. Don't think for a second that I'm soft. You think I'm soft, wrestle with me. You'll see how unsoft I am. So, all of us, me included, please, 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 listen to the people who love you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention.